Welcome to the Love Clarity Podcast, where you come to heal your relationship trauma and learn to love deeply without losing yourself. Welcome to another episode of the Love Clarity Podcast. Today, I am so excited because I have with me the Betty Galvan from the Coco. So Betty Galvan, who's the owner of Coco, a community and co-working space that's rooted in connection and belonging right here in Summit, New Jersey, that I'm also a part of, is now expanding also to Florham Park. And when Betty took on the Coco, she'd stepped into something that was already beloved, already built, and changing people's lives, creating connections. But instead of trying to just preserve it and keep it exactly as it was, she took on that harder assignment, honoring the past, evolving the future, and widening the circle so more people could belong and benefit. And what drew me to this conversation with Betty, I wanted her to come. I was like, Betty, we've got to do this. Is it Betty leads, mirrors that we teach inside the Love Clarity inner circle and everything that we do? Leadership sourced from steadiness, alignment, and a deep trust that people bloom where they feel safe. And that's what she creates for all of us. And so thank you for that, Betty, and welcome.
Oh, thank you so much. That's such a beautiful introduction, Sonia. Thank you.
A beautiful introduction for a beautiful Betty. So Betty, as we begin, I want to see if you could please introduce yourself to us and tell us about yourself.
Sure. Thank you so much.
Questions.
So yes, you said that so well. I am the new owner of the Coco as of January of 2024. I'm also the founder and owner of my friend Betty Digital Marketing Studio, MFBS Digital Marketing, and both businesses. I am really trying to make sure that people understand that we're connecting people online and in person with the Coco. So my team was managing the social media for the Coco, and I was a member of the Coco from day one, 2019, when they first launched. I knew how important keeping the Coco alive was for me and for so many other women and now men. We are inclusive. So it was a no-brainer. I knew I was jumping into something different. But like you said, community means everything to me. And I'm doing everything that I can to keep the doors open at the Coco. And now we have been successful. After 2 years, we have just launched the second location in Florham Park, New Jersey.
Okay, wonderful. And, I want to ask you about that moment where you were like, you know what? I've got to buy the Coco. I want this community. Why you, why then, and why this particular community?
It was so interesting. It was October of 2023. And the founders, beautiful founders who are still my mentors, I love them so much. They called me in for social media messaging. They were ready to tell the community that they were closing the doors December of 2023 in 2 months. And I was in shock. I didn't see it as a client leaving or a client, I saw it as, whoa, my community, my office space, the place I use to teach my workshops, my social media workshops, so many things. And, and I thought about the 130 members who were going to be just as disappointed and as shocked as I was. So I didn't even think. I said it at the moment, would you consider selling it to me? And they said, Betty, you're so busy. You have 3 boys and a thriving social media business. What do you do? What do you mean? And so I said, no, I think this is right. Let me figure it out. I went home, I spoke to my husband, and 2 months later, we made it happen.
Amazing. And when you did inherit the Coco, emotionally, culturally, logistically, that felt both exciting. Did it feel both exciting and intimidating?
Oh yeah. I had the famous imposter syndrome, what would these other 130 members think? Who does Betty think she is to come here and, take over? She's in the social media, digital marketing business. Like, what is this? So I am a former teacher. That is where I started my career as a middle school language arts and reading teacher. And the educational portion that the Coco offers to the community members, because remember, we have community membership and then we have co-working membership, right? And our coworkers are always invited, and a lot of them do come to our community events. But I love that the special interest programming, special group interest programming that we have now is really tailored to all of us learning from each other. And it's such a great way to network with each other without there being so much pressure, right? So I don't even know if I answered your question, but
Did, yeah,
that
you
whole
did.
background for me was just really important.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I love that special interest, groups that you've made. It's almost like it's a big family, and then you have little spaces where people can express and learn. And I'm doing an event, invisible work, visible workout, visible burnout in next week. And I
That's
know
right, on
that,
Monday. Yeah.
yes, and it's just so exciting to have all of this richness in the
Yes.
community. So, and looking back, what belief or assumption did you have about owning a community space that ended up being maybe completely wrong?
Right, right. Well, that imposter syndrome, who do I think? And then when I realized I am a teacher, this is what I believe in. This is what I know that other women love. I have listened when I wasn't the owner to what other people needed. And I think the experience of us having my friend Betty team manage so many social media accounts for so many businesses also taught me to really understand the challenges of solopreneurs, of service professionals such as dentists, doctors, realtors who have teams and they own their practices and the challenges that they face.
Right.
So bringing in that experience to the Coco, I think really helped us a lot to stay in the path of continuing having our members teach each other and learn from each other, but also to bring up different topics that perhaps or different in different special interest groups that perhaps didn't exist before, just based on all of the challenges that I know business owners have.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. And what was it that helped you decide that it was time to expand the definition of, expand into Florham Park? What was it that you were like, okay, it's time?
It's time. It was time. We were finally in a situation where we have more coworkers than desks, was for one. And you have seen that our community networking events, we're pretty tight in the back little area there. So we're not disturbing the coworkers.
Right.
And the need and the need from I hear other people in other cities and states and my friends in Chicago and whatnot saying, I wish we had something like that here, right? And so I said, why are we not trying to bring more of these community spaces, this third space for people in other towns? I had to be careful. Clearly, it's financial times right now is hard for everybody. So I decided to go with something a little closer to our first location before expanding into another market. So we can help increase the space for our current members who we just needed more space.
That's wonderful. And it's not easy to build community. That's why maybe, it's and so but you're great at it. I think that you're great
Oh,
at
thank
it.
you.
And so
Thank you.
I'm wondering what's a behind the scenes truth about building community that most people underestimate?
I have to give a lot of credit to my team, especially Kathy Cowan, who's been with the Coco since day one, and she's still there with us as our community director of operations and community. And she's taught me so many great things. I think her background is in human resources, so little things of just like remembering specific things about each person is so important. So I'm very now in tune with, there are so many people I see every day, right? So remembering something about them and finding that connection between us so that then we can connect our members to somebody else. So as you know, when you join the Coco as a community member or a coworker, we have an onboarding process and we really get to learn who you are and what your needs are. So somebody can come in right away and say, I'm a completely new solopreneur. I'm going to launch this business, and I need an accountant, and I need a website designer, and I need a leadership coach. And we have all these people in our community. So we make those curated connections right away. And Kathy and I, with all of our experience as well, we open up our own connections outside of the Coco. Like, why would we not do that? So if the person that we're looking for is not a Coco member, we still connect them to our own contacts and our own network.
You have done that for me as well. You've connected me to people outside the community as well. So I'm a recipient of that generosity. And I also wonder how, like, that's crazy. You remember in real time while you're speaking, you remember that which community member wrote which book, and usually you have something to pull out and show. This is crazy.
Yeah.
How does she remember everything?
Oh, well, but I have embarrassing moments where I
I'm
forget.
sure.
I called someone the wrong name, or I forget something.
Yeah.
Yesterday was hilarious. We had an event, and I was supposed to do the introduction, but I was so excited to welcome Melanie Curtis, our presenter. I was so excited to hear her presentation. Just like everyone else, I got my little wine and my plate of food, and I sat down, and I was like, "Oh my God, I have to introduce her." So I I still feel like I am part of the community. I am as excited as everybody else to hear the speaker that
Yeah.
make these
Yeah.
mistakes, right? So, but I give myself grace. I know that people don't care. It's a lot, they know there's a lot going on, and so, but yeah, funny things like
Yeah.
that do happen.
Yeah, I love that you mentioned that you give yourself grace. That's what it's about. And when you show up that way, you have grace for others as well when you give yourself
Oh,
grace.
100%.
And what is your trick for when you because I mean I am really bad at that, and I have so many moments of calling somebody the wrong name, and
Mhm.
it's just I mean I want to just ask you, everybody comes up with their own tricks, and what's yours? What do you do in that moment?
Oh my goodness. I acknowledge it
Yeah.
immediately. I do acknowledge it to the person and say, I don't know why I keep doing that. I'm so sorry. I know your name, you know? So I think acknowledging it
Yeah.
immediately is just the best thing.
Yes.
Because, I think it's more embarrassing if you, so we made, from last night's experience, we made a joke. I said, couldn't wait to drink the wine with you all, and so everybody laughs and it's okay. And Melanie gave me the grace as well. So yes, she's very gracious.
That's beautiful. And my husband and I have this thing where if we are out somewhere and he meets somebody comes up to him like that person is his patient or something, and or somebody who's worked with him, and the other way around, that whoever, let's say that it's his patient, and he doesn't automatically introduce me. I
Hmm.
know that's a signal for
Oh,
me right
good.
away
Yes.
for me to say, "Hi, I'm Sanya." And what is your name? Because
Yes.
the only reason he's not doing it is because he doesn't remember that person.
That's
And then
right.
he's like, he catches on right away.
That's so smart.
So we do
That's
that
so
for each
smart.
other. So we have this signal. I have that with my team too. So we go to events and stuff. So we have this signal because there's
I
always
love
some.
that.
You can
Yes,
definitely take that
I
one.
will. And I also do the have you two met?
Yes.
And then that's a signal for them to
Please.
say,
Yeah.
hi, I am so and so. And then the other person, I can't remember the name, says the name, and I'm like, oh. But yeah, it's the thing. And with perimenopause brain, it comes a lot
I know.
of
Oh my God. We were just talking about that before we started recording. And so, in the Love Clarity podcast and in the Love Clarity method, the language that we have, we ask, where am I? We pause and ask, where am I loving from? Where am I working from? Am I working from a pain, or am I working from purpose? And so if you translate into what you're building, your community and your work that you do with your marketing and social media, when somebody walks into a room, where do you think that they should? What is something that they should check in with themselves before entering a room full of peers? What
Oh,
would be your advice?
that's good because it's a great question because with both social media we ask, our clients sometimes to do uncomfortable things, right? Nobody wants to be on video until they see how great it is for their business, for example. And also, at the Coco coming in to network, the word networking, some people are very, very comfortable with that word and others are not. So I
Hmm.
think that for both types of either a Coco member or a social media client, I want people to just remember to just be themselves because there's nothing, and I know that sounds so cliche, but there's nothing worse than trying to rehearse a sales pitch before you meet people. That's not authentic. That's not how it should be. So when we show up on social or we show up in person, I really think it's just go in with the intention of hoping to meet some pretty cool people and just discovering, I met a woman the other day who our kids have been in school together for about 3 or 4 years. And so we know each other from school, but we've never talked about our work or what we do or our past, right? And she said to me, my goodness, I didn't know how interesting, people are until I started doing this. And this was showing up to network and be intentional about growing her business through this way. So I think that's what my recommendation is to people. Show up authentically, leave the sales pitch at the door. No one's, and I know at the Coco we do a 30-second like
Right.
sales pitch. That's the time for that. But for having that solid and knowing what your 30-second elevator pitch is, fantastic. But other than that, when you go in, just find something to talk about, with someone else. It doesn't have to do with work.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense because in the age of AI and automation and
Mm.
messaging that's so easy to come about, it becomes more and more important for people just to be themselves because that stands out more than anything else. Because
Yeah.
we want to know more and more, and when you connect your heart and you're speaking from your place of being, people can
Yeah.
feel it.
100%. 100%. And I think that's how authentic relationships are built.
Yeah. And so, if I were to describe the Coco to people, I would say that it's a group, it's a community of high achieving people, entrepreneurs of all kind. These people really work hard and they often, a lot of these people operate alone in silos. They overfunction, giving everything, receiving very little. And so when you come in and you offer all of these things, what helps people finally relax into being supported,
Yeah.
collaborating, and
Mhm.
these types of things?
Definitely not feeling that they have to compete. So collaboration over competition, right? And just to mention, because we also have a lot of creatives, photographers, artists, videographers. We have people podcasters who are working alone every day. And then organizations, nonprofit organizations too, leaders in nonprofits, they also join our community. So when you mix them with the entrepreneur that you were just speaking of, it feels like we're learning from each other. And even if there are two photographers in the same room, there are so many people in so many industries intertwined that it doesn't feel like competition. We do have special interest groups that all of the nonprofit groups people go to together, or all of the people who own a product go, who develop products work together. But that's for, again, resources to learn from each other. So we hope to put together a group of coaches, of all different types of coaches, right? We don't have that yet. And that is, again, not that we're really focusing on the collaboration between all of you and how we can all work together.
That's beautiful, Betty. And I want you to tell me, like, if there's a specific story that comes to mind that reminded you, that moment that reminded you, you know what? This is why I do what I
Oh,
do,
yeah.
whether it's in the Coco and why you created the Coco, or it's in your other business, which was your original business of marketing and social media.
I love to tell a story of Natalie, who at a certain age decided to start a brand new business. And she came to the Coco, she was so shy, and she was selling pieces of fashion, I think out of her house, out of her, car, I believe. Like there was no, and she was not telling many people about it. And she felt like, a certain way. And she also wasn't showing up on social. So she came to one of the marketing meetings. And I believe somebody in the marketing group, if not me, led and talked about the importance of social media. And we just saw her start to come out of her shell in the last, year to, I mean, showing up on social, to speaking about her fashion, bringing the fashion to the Coco and showing people her pieces and styling people on the spot and just really shining. And now she's in an actual brick and mortar place. She has a shop. She has grown so much from just her experience. And I'm not taking all the credit. Like she has said, she is a walking Coco ambassador for us. She could be getting her nails done and she'll tell the person next to her about the Coco because that's just how much she felt empowered by our community. So I love telling her story. And I always worry, like, will she need us anymore? And she was there last night and she keeps coming and she tells me about us. So that is one beautiful story that I love to tell about Natalie.
And that's such a good story because it's at the intersection of both of the things that you do. And I think I do
That's right.
remember her bringing her clothes and everybody trying them on. People bought so much. It was a
Yes,
really good little
she's really
wardrobe.
good, really fantastic.
It's just wonderful how you highlight people like that. That's just beautiful. And what do you think, Betty, that leading the Coco, how has it changed you? Not as an owner, but just as a human being.
I think this is one of the most challenging things I've ever done. 100%. I think I was going to say that earlier today. Yes, the and especially now the second location, right, is more of a risk. It's a lot of work I inherited the Coco with everything, right? The furniture, the monitors, everything was there. I just came in and learned so much. But starting a new play is different. It's different. When I started social media management, I worked from my home. It was all digital. But there's something about opening up a like actual brick and mortar space is so challenging. But I'm really proud of all I want to say, with the exception of my husband, so many women, the woman who talks to me about finance, my commercial retail real estate agent, all my attorney, all females, I who've been holding my hand along the way, my designer and my team. So it's been the most challenging. I still have some doubt, of course. I feel like, what if this doesn't work? But I bring myself back to positive thinking by saying, I know that I couldn't live life thinking, why didn't I try? So, if it doesn't work out, we'll still be in Summit. We will still be there. But I hope to only expand even further from here. So don't ask me today if I'll open another place because I'll say no, but you never know what's in the future. But this is definitely, I'll be vulnerable right now, the hardest thing I've done.
That's wonderful. That's beautiful. And I think that it's just so aligned with who you are and how you operate, and you use so many of the Coco members for whatever it is that you're doing. So you network, you connect people, and you use from those connections as well. So I just feel like it's just such a natural extension of who you are. So and I'm sure that it stretched you in ways. Anytime you create something new, it does stretch you.
Yeah, 100%. And those special interest group leaders they are an extension of our team. This is a volunteer, position for them that they take on, but we do see and identify people who are really shining in their industry. And the finance group, for example, is brand new. We just started 6 months ago, I want to say. And that was because we started to have more members in that industry. And so we said, why don't we have a finance group? And we've created conversations around personal finance to financial responsibility and what you should be doing for your business. And it really has taken off. So we identify the people, we ask them, so they gladly jump at the opportunity. And we're grateful. We find many ways to show them how appreciative we are, from having special lunches with them to extra, time in the use of the conference rooms to membership for the new location, Florin Park. So we really try and we really find ways to thank them because we know that volunteering is hard.
Yes, but it's the type of volunteering that really gives back, and it's just such a warm feeling to connect. And more people after COVID are working from home, like me. I used to have three offices, and now I'm working from home. So we create these silos. So it's so important to have a community like that, and then to have a tiny community inside the larger community. So you
Yes.
can go and expand and get more if you want to, but also you can concentrate on the work that you're doing in a more
Yes.
deeper way. So
Yeah.
I've
And
got a, yes, please go ahead.
we wish more community members would become coworkers too, right? Because now you're spending more time in our space. And I think not only is it an inspiring, beautiful space to work out of, very warm and bright for creativity and productivity, excuse me, but also the more you are out of your house, the more connections you are making. So.
Yes,
But
yes, of
look, I'm
course.
here today. I'm in my own home office today. So I get it, right? It's so nice to have that third space.
Yes, it is. It is. Both of the things are nice. The balance is very good. And it's
Hmm.
very good to have that option as
We're
well.
very blessed to have it and very lucky to have it. Yes.
Yes. So let's do a few quick ones.
Sure.
Let me ask you these few questions like, what is a leadership lesson that you learned the hard way?
I you should never be too busy to pay attention to the small details. I
Okay.
think that when there's a small detail, it could have really big effects if you don't correct it.
Good one. Good one, Betty. And a boundary that you've held this month. This month.
A boundary.
Yeah.
Not making time for myself. My workouts in the morning are super important for me.
Wonderful. And a ritual that keeps you grounded.
Ooh, my 5 minute journal that I have right here
Hey,
to
wonderful.
remember to be, and my virtual power hour at the Coco, we started this again because of that and what we promised. So remembering to be grateful every day and jotting down the wins and all of that.
And how about a quote or a moment that moved you recently?
Oh, it has to be exactly last night. And I have it right here because I want to continue to see this. Support might seem small, but it's crucial to do really big things. So, a special interest group of 10 people, it's just 10 people supporting you, but it's really important.
It really is. They say all you need is one person, knowing one person believes in you.
That's right.
And your story that you told, I'm forgetting the name that you had mentioned,
Natalie, yeah.
Natalie. Yes, that was also like that because you blossom in that.
Hmm.
Wonderful. That's wonderful. So, Betty, for someone who's feeling disconnected or lonely right now, what's one small, doable step towards finding or building community this week?
I think reaching out to someone, doing a little research and seeing what feels like a great activity to do with other people. It could be an art class, a pottery class, a writer's circle, something that's both even walking in nature with someone else, just picking someone. I think all of that feeds us to just disconnect from all the technology and just stop and pause and live within nature or art.
Beautiful. That's wonderful. Yes, it activates the part of you where you're feeling and you're embodied. That's a
Hmm.
great advice. Thank you, Betty. And thank you for your steadiness and the heart with which you show up. And the
Thank you for
community
all
that
your support.
yes,
Thank
the
you.
community that you've created is just not an accident. It takes cultivating and you've been doing it and with intention, with humility, with love. And for anyone listening, visit the Coco and Summit. Watch for the new one in Florham Park. I mean, it's already open.
Open,
Visit it.
yes.
I have to go visit it. I'm
Yeah.
excited to see it and experience what it feels like to be held in a community that wants you to belong. So, as we close, Betty, what is something that you'd like people who are watching to know about you? How can they find you? what are ways that if they get there, since they're getting inspired by listening to you, what is the way that they can use your services, get in touch with you?
Thank you so much. So, it's so important for us to be our authentic selves. So showing up and I want people to know about me that I am vulnerable and I've always been an open book. So, when you're around me, I will tell you about the things you say such great things about me, Sonia. Thank you so much. But there's so many things, right, that I'm like, oh, I could be better at this or that. So I think that's one thing. Not being afraid to say that out loud because that's what helps us grow. And that's what I really, it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to be vulnerable. You never know what someone's advice, it could really be, change your perspective on a lot of things. So people can find me. My personal Instagram is where I am the most vulnerable, and that is my friend Betty on Instagram. My friend Betty says Instagram is MFBS Digital Marketing. The Coco is the Coco NJ on Instagram, and my LinkedIn is Betty Galvan.
Beautiful, beautiful. And is there anything special that's going on that you'd like to announce?
We are having 3 free co-working days at the Coco in Florham Park. We just want people to come in and check it out. No strings attached, of course. We want you to feel what it's like to get out of your home and come and visit us. So those dates, I'm just pulling them up right now. So the 3 free co-working days that we're having at the new Florham Park location are on Monday, November 17th, Thursday, November 20th, and Wednesday, December 10th. Those are happening soon at the 23 Vreeland Road location. All you have to do is send our team an email, team@theco-co.com to reserve your spot.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And if you listen to this episode when those are passed, what I do is I go to the Coco website. We have an app too, but
Yes.
and I look and it's always posted there or the
Right.
Instagram.
Yes, all our
So,
members have access to the app to come to any of the events. Just let us know if you want to try one. We're so flexible. We want you to come in. So
yeah. Thank you so much, Betty. It was so lovely spending time with you. It always is, but I'm so happy we had this time together and
me
that you
too.
were
I'm
able to
so
share.
grateful, Sonia. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Of course, absolutely. My pleasure. Okay, everyone. Thank you for listening. And make sure you check out everything that Betty's doing. She is amazing. You want to know this woman, you want to meet her, and you want to see the spaces she's creating.